Are we live? Are we live? We're live. Just waiting for people to show up. Robert says nothing. He says nothing. Hello, Cynthia. Okay. There's Jenny. There's Alexis. Tanya. Hello. Jack, and a whole bunch of other people. Now we're getting everybody online. Hello, this is Joey. I just want everybody to see Michael's off to the side here because I told him, I'm the star. I am the star of this show. Hey, Joe. Hey, Daddy. This is not Michael. This is Joey. So you have to say hi. That's Joey. Not just Joey. Joey with a capital E. What's my last name? E. What does it stand for? Effervescent. Energetic. In charge. Anyway, Robert has to go. Okay. See, this is what I deal with every day, every second of my life. I want to say a couple other shout outs. I've said hello to Alexis, Jenny. Hey, Jenny, how are you? JD, yes. Tanya, hello, how are you? Renee, hello. Yeah, we've got a lot of people online. I hope you can hear that well. The topic, yes, Joe E., that's right. Finally, I'm getting some respect. Sounds like Rodney Dangerfield, doesn't it? Okay, anyway, here's what's going on today. I wanted to talk about something that I've thought about for almost my whole life. And that's when you're in a solo situation. Hi, Tanya, how are you? I miss hanging out in DoorDash, and you have a beautiful new dog. Hey, Renee, how are you? There's so many good people here online. And so anyway, one of the questions people ask me is, how do you think about solos? And there, I've had multiple phases in my career. Back in the early days when I was a kid, I was in really cool cover bands where we would play stuff like, Earth, Wind, and Fire. Like Shining Star. Then I'd play Roundabout, the song that made me want to play Over the Neck. Go ahead. Now, the headbanging, of course, is optional, but I played so many cover songs, and I think that, in a career, if you never play other people's music, you have no idea about what it is that makes other people's music great. When you hear Stevie Nicks go, "In a landslide," or, or you hear Heart go, "These Dreams," or, Barracuda, or you hear Prince, "Purple Rain," or you even heard my old band Holland, "Gotta Run, Gotta Run." So you hear these songs that make people feel something. And so when you're on stage looking at the audience and they're like I've been on this big kick of watching Howard Stern's artists, not the Howard Stern show, but where he had Metallica on, where he had Miley Cyrus, where he had Don Henley. He had Slash on a bunch of times. He has the best of the best. And John Fogerty singing Creedence Clearwater songs. And all these artists are so amazing. But what the thing that grabbed me the most is what grabs most people the most. That when they put the feeling into those songs, like Don Henley is saying he didn't like his performance in the Eagles song Desperado. Now, call me crazy, call me insane, but when I heard Desperado, draw the Queen of Diamonds bow, they'll beat you when they're able. I heard this, the Queen of Hearts is always your best friend. I thought, some mighty fine things have been laid upon your table, Desperado. I thought his voice was magnificent. It was perfect. And And he said he didn't like the performance. And you know, and here's the thing that I realized as an artist, that things that when I was younger, I always got a feel for music. And I still get that feel today. If I hear a song like, oh, I can name so many different songs. Killer Queen, Gunpowder Jealous. I like that song, so do I. And I remember hearing it just going, this is such a cool song. But it made me feel something, and I still feel that today. So that was my early years. And just doing so many cover songs. But when I started being in original bands, and then I get signed to Warner Brothers, not once, twice, because of music I wrote, I had the experience of being on a stage playing a song that the entire audience just went crazy over. Like I was watching Brian Johnson on Howard Stern. And Brian Johnson was saying when they did You Shook Me All Night Long, that was the first song AC/DC recorded. Can you believe this? That whole album, Back in Black, 6 weeks from start to finish. And he said Malcolm Young, and he did a great impersonation because Brian Johnson's British, Malcolm's, was Australian. And different accents, close, but different. And he did a great impersonation, but Malcolm Young told Brian Johnson, he goes, I think that's one of the greatest songs, rock songs ever written. And he said, actually, he thought it was the greatest. And I mean, come on, man. When you play that song and people start moving, so what does that have to do with today's lesson? Here's what it has to do. From the early days, now I started studying music theory by the time I was in high school. And I was actually a sophomore in high school when I started, and I knew nothing. But I did win a jazz award because I had studied jazz. I didn't even know what I was doing. I just heard sounds in my head like a lot of people. But then I learned how to analyze those sounds. And so when, you start, thinking about all this, in my early days working on solos, the first thing I always said to myself was when I was working out these solos is, what key are you in? Now, here's the thing about playing around changes. I'm going to play actually 3 jam tracks. I have 13 instructional programs from Metal Method, metalmethod.com. Speed kills works, and it works big time. 100 years from now, it's going to work because it's backed up with a music theory mind that has a degree in it, and I studied. It's like the old Ghostbusters movie. Whoa, if they're not doing work for a university, they actually have to do work that gets monitored, and they have to show results, and I showed results because I understand what came before me. But the first thing that I think about is key. Now, let me show you a little bit on this. Now, I'm using my hybrid, one of my hybrid signature guitars. Sorry you see the lighting there, but look at this guitar, man. Spalted maple of death. This guitar works, and I've heard all these purists, even one of the techs at Sawtooth said, well, like when you put multiple pickups together, like you get magnetic interference. Yeah, really? Are you sure about that? So, that's the telly sound. The middle sound. So killer. And then you have the humbucker sound. Now, we had to make a little bit of a sacrifice with the humbucker. We had to close them in a little bit, but it still has that bridge sound. Somebody's going to ask me, hey, bro, do you like play Smoke on the Water, do you? No, man, it's like really hard, bro. And it's like a really hard song, especially when you have the bass. So I had to do that because someone's going to ask. I know it. I feel it. It resonates within my soul. Shut up. You're right. Okay, getting back to this. So what I first thought, when I think about how do I solo, the main thing is, what the heck key am I in? That's the first question one. What is the key? The key. The key, a key? No, not a key, the key. And so when you hear something, for example, I have jam tracks through Metal Method. I have 10 different jam tracks that are not one, but two-part songs. And there's a word in music called modulation. It just means change keys. I know all these words, but I also know when people don't speak that language, it's kind of difficult sometimes to navigate. Sorry, I'm tuning up my guitar, making sure. But what I did on these jam tracks is I modulated. So you have part one, they are two-part song forms, and one of the jam tracks I did a three-part song form, so it's A, B, C. You know, when you heard that, when you see the song by Genesis called Abacab, do you know what Abacab means? It's a song form. The first time I ever heard that word, I heard Abacab. This is Genesis for people who know Genesis. And I'm giving you the keys to the Lamborghini now, and with Speak Hills. But when I heard the song Abacab, I said, why did they call it Abacab? Song form. See, in theory, in classical, in music theory, and a lot of times today they change the rules and they do a lot of things. Synthetic modes, synthetic scales. We didn't have that when I went to school. It was very strict. They called it almost church harmony. But when you think of these things, I think more in terms of how Bach and Beethoven and Mozart and, because like I think of, passing tones and chromatics as just non-chord tones. I try to make things really simple. And so anyway, but when I'm playing, and I ask myself, what key am I in? On these jam tracks, the first thing that we tried to do with these two song forms, like I said, Abacab, we letter, for example, verse is A, second verse can still be A, chorus B. The bridge part, or what the Beatles used to call the middle eight, is C. So a binary, meaning two-part song form, is A, A, B, A. That means verse, verse, chorus, verse. Now, if you have the middle eight, like in the song We Can Work It Out, life is very short, and there's no time, which Lennon wrote, that is part C. So you have a ternary, which means three. So you have A, B, A, C. And so when I heard Abacab, A, B, A, C, A, B, Phil Collins said it. It was song form. I knew it right away. And so my theoretical mind, this is why Metal Method works. See, I don't just base things on what I think about at the time. This is not the flavor of the month. This is centuries of thought. And I learned this, and then I applied 21st century, 20th century, back in the day, ideas to what had already been established. So, a lot of times, like I said this, there are 2 plus 2 is middle 4, basic chord sonorities. Major, minor, augmented, and diminished. And I don't like to argue with people online. I deleted a post on YouTube recently because the guys go, no, man, that's not right. It's not right now. It's like in the 7th and the Venus 7th. That's stupid thought. Those are third extensions. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13. It's high as it gets. And you don't say minor 13, you say minor 6, because the 6 and 13th are the same. This person was dead wrong, but that's why my programs work. I'm not going to argue with him about stupid stuff. He said, those are triads. Triad meaning 3, 1, 3, 5. Chord is 4 more notes. Duh, I know that. But a major chord can be 1, 3, 5. Octave. Oh my God, what a revelation. A, C sharp, E, A. Not A, C sharp, E, G, which would be a third extension. This is why my methodology works. I don't dabble in that stuff, and I don't like to argue with stupid. And so he was right in one sense. When you add extensions, that's what you get. But the 4 major chord groups, and a chord is 4 notes or more. There's a word, semantics. And it just means the words that you use. Semantically speaking, I don't even know if semantically is where. Semantics, major, minor, augmented, diminished. That's it. Everything else is derived from that. So if a purist wants to talk shop, bring it on, baby. I'll talk shop with you. This is what it is. It's in its most simplistic form. This is what you have to know. It's like using keys. I have jam tracks available on metalmethod.com that show these two-part forms, A, B, and then one song, A, B, C. That's how proper, quote-unquote, music theory is thought of. That's how the language of music is spoken. And so I'm going to play a little bit for you, and here's what I did. The first question you ask yourself is, what key am I in? Am I in major? Am I in minor? If I'm in minor, what minor? And so here are some of the giveaways. If you hear something that resolves, for example, like this, like no boundaries, like, or I know that's harmonic minor, because when you hear that dominant chord, the reason why it's called a dominant chord, it's the 5 chord, is because it's so dominant, it wants to resolve. It wants to go back home. When you hear, or it wants to resolve to its root note. And so first thing you ask yourself is, what key am I in? Now, it might not even be a key. It might be a mode. Or in Yngwie's world, the Spanish Phrygian. Like this. So you have to ask yourself first. Now I'm going to play you a little bit of these jam tracks from Metal Method. I highly recommend you get them. Now here's what I think. It starts off in F sharp minor, then it moves to D, but not just any D, D Mixolydian mode. And so when I hear these two things, all it takes is for you separate each section and you play accordingly. Now here we go. I'm going to use this first one. Okay, here we go. So I've got my DAW system to the left here. Okay, what did I just do there? I played in F sharp. Now, I used F sharp blues, and then I used chromatic passing tones. Now, the reason I say this is my mind thinks like this. I think classical, legit music theory, okay? And it makes it very simple. See, that's why my programs work. It's simple thought based on complex ideas. You know, I mean, if you had a wheel, okay, just a wheel, and no one in the world had ever seen a wheel, how would you describe it? See, I would try to find the most simple explanation to articulate what exactly a wheel is. But there are a lot of people out there, especially a lot of angry people online that will say, no, you're like wrong, bro. It's like this. And they will go through this like verbose, why don't you just read the Bible? It's like, instead of a sentence this big, it's like this big. And that's what I get all the time from these pundits. It's like, dude or dudette, lighten up. See, this is what makes a good teacher. I'm not trying to impart to you what I know about music. I'm trying to explain something so you understand it. Hello? That's what I'm not trying to impart my philosophy, politics, religion, nothing. Just to explain something so simply, you go, wow, I get it. I get it. That's the point. I get it. So this is what I did with these jam tracks. And I'm going to play another one. This one's really cool. We start in a mixolydian mode. Now, I have kind of funny names for things to make you remember. I've said this in other programs, and I'm using my hybrid guitar. I'm going to just show you the wood on this bad boy. Look at this. Spalted maple of death. Now, do you see what we did here? I straightened out the telly pickup, and it sounds exactly. We can put it up against any telly on planet Earth. It's got a German-made Floyd. This is the best there is. And the price point is hundreds of dollars. I'm just telling you, Sawtooth is one of the baddest guitar companies on the planet. And the way they know how to do business, they are the baddest. Nobody can compete with us right now. They can't. They can't compete with our price points. I've released 7 signature models in the year 2020 during a pandemic. Wait till you see what we're gonna do. And so we just started. And so, but I love this company. I love everything about it and the people, and we have a lot of things going on. Now, getting back to this, with these jam tracks, you have to ask yourself, you only need a basic working knowledge. Thirds, sixth. A lot of these notes determine what keys you are in. For example, if you hear this, now it's a flatted third and a flatted sixth. That's called a natural minor. It's also called the Aeolian mode. It was a mode at one time. And like now, the word modes and scales, a lot of things have changed since I went to school. We've actually kind of rewritten the laws a little bit. Not that there were any laws, laws are meant, I have a saying, it's how do you know what's outside the box? You can't think outside the box unless you know what's in the box. Well, my degree and my training is in this box to attempt to explain why Bach sounded so great, why the Beatles sound so great, why Elton John sounds so great, or Shostakovich, or Tchaikovsky, or Schoenberg, or Schoenberg was out there. But anyway, a lot of different composers. And so, but when you do these tracks, a basic knowledge of music theory is really all you need. See your ear. See, the whole point about music theory is this. It's an attempt to explain why you hear stuff that sounds good. Why does something sound right when you hear Bach or the Beatles, or something with a lesser artist or a lesser band sound wrong? There is actually a theory behind it, and that's a thing that I study. But I still maintain, to be a good teacher, you have to make things simple. You have to take complex concepts and bring them so the person understands and grasps it. That's a good teacher. A good teacher a great teacher is not trying to impress you with what they know. A great teacher, in my humble opinion, is to try and make you learn something. And so I'm going to play this next jam track. Now here's what I do. Here's what I was talking about. The major scale. I'm happy. Okay, it's time for me to intervene. Ozzy Osbourne did Crazy Train. Crazy Train's a happy. I hated it. Only the Prince of Darkness could go. Let's switch it to that. Can you imagine? I am malevolent creation. You know, I don't even know what they say. There's no melody, there's rhythm. Oh, 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 oh. So can you imagine, I am a malevolent creation? Or when Jim Carrey did, oh God, who is that band? I can't even remember. But think of a death metal band with the name that you can't even read. Oh, and their singer is the new death metal singer of doom, death and destruction. And you said, hey, bro, I got like a new riff, bro. And he goes, whoa, 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 whoa. I'm like, dude, what was that about? It was about death, bro. Just death. And so, I mean, how absurd is this all? But think about Ozzy Osbourne. He's the Prince of Darkness. I mean, Randy Rhoads goes, death! I get it! Mean and evil. And then he goes, I'm happy. I'm happy. See, he could have called it, instead of Crazy Train, he could have called it Happy Train. I'm going after being happy because I've been sad on my vibe. He could have done a lot of things. But the point is this. A major chord, a major scale is happy. Minor is sad. It's sad. It sounds sad. It's minor. And a minor, so it's that minor third. So the main things that you can do to help yourself, just to start, is ask yourself the simple question, is it sound happy or does it sound sad? If it sounds happy, if you hear this, then the chances are it's probably in a major scale or a derivative of that. Now, what do I mean by that? There is the Mixolydian mode, which instead of going, it's got a flatted seventh. So now this is kind of the funky mode, like, let's start again. So you hear like Jeff Beck going like this. Or this on Broadway. Like, no, 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 on Broadway. So it's this kind of, it's like Leonard Skinner used it. It's this kind of sound that's unique unto itself. So what I did is I thought about feelings for the scales and feelings for the modes, so it was very easy for me to identify. If I heard something like this, I knew right away it was Mixolydian, or like Jeff Beck, Freeway Jam. And he goes like. So when I heard this, that is your first consideration. Now I'm going to play jam track. This is number 7. And it's in the key of E, but it's a Mixolydian mode. Then it goes to the key of A, and it's kind of AC/DC-ish. So again, you have to ask yourself, what key am I in? First, you're in the E Mixolydian mode. Then you go, I put like A, D, G, G, D. Now, this is a little ambiguous because there's a lot of major chords happening here. It's actually in a D major, but D major is also a Mixolydian. See, that's the beauty of music. If you learn the scales and modes, and there's not many of them, the basic ones. You know, people said, there's like 8,023 scales and modes, bro. Well, all I know, I learned the basic ones, and the rest are appoggiaturas or passing tones. And what I mean, non-chord tones. And I made it very simple in my own head. And I make it simple to you. So anyway, I'm going to play a little of this second jam. It's really cool. And you can get this at metalmethod.com. Here we go. Real drums. Stuart Bull on drums from Lick Library. Okay, so you get the idea. So what I did was it's a two-part song, A and B, and each part is in a different key. I highly recommend this. I have 10 of these, and I have a third one I'm going to play for you too. Now, but these are really amazing to play with. Now, I just want to show you a little bit about this guitar. I freaking love this guitar. Okay, here's what I do with this. We worked first to get the ultimate telly sound. And so, now I've got overdrive, and I'm not going to switch it to clean. Here it is. Front pickup, you know, meaning the neck position, back. And it's got that it's just got that wang that you expect from a telly. You cannot get that out of like a Les Paul sound. It's just got this wang. It's like almost like a rubber band. And then the middle position. So you get these cool sounds, and it's so simple to use. I'm a guitar player. I don't want things complicated. And then you just switch. Humbuckers are inherently louder. We did this purposely. We made the humbuckers sound like humbuckers, the single coils sound like single coils. Kept the lipstick in this so you get true single coil, true humbucker sounds. Plus, it's got a top-of-the-line German-made Floyd. How perfectly in tune that is. I mean, it's amazing. I just love this guitar. And it looks great. Now, I want to say a couple things. I've done the shout outs. Sawtooth Guitars is amazing. Chromacast, their other company, amazing. And then they have a retail store called Go DPS Music. GoDPS Music has a new app. It's GODPS Music. If you go to the app, and it's 3 months free. After that, it's 99 whole cents a month. You get 20, if you order any product from GoDPS Music, that means Sawtooth, drums, bass, amps, keyboards, everything. They have everything and anything. And so if you order through the app, you get a 20% discount off the top. It's amazing, but you also get content like this. I did 2 main concerts. I have a new band. We call it the MAB band, just MAB. We use the drummer from Sawtooth, and he's the CEO, and his name is Joe Fuco, and he's an amazing drummer, just world-class hard hitter. Then we have Kevin Osborne, another owner who's very young, and he's got this great soulful voice. He's the singer. So we have 2 of the owners, part of the company, in the band. And then we have another member, the bass player, Nils. And Nils not only has the coolest hair in rock, I mean, well, I know that there's one guy that that probably could debate him on this, but it's equal. I'm not going to say one is better. But Nils has got a great voice. He's a great bass player. He looks cool. So we are the band. We did a concert, and that concert is going to be shown on the GoDPS Music app. We're mixing it right now. And I also did a concert with Vinny Appice, Rudy Sarzo, and a young singer named Melody that's in the band Liliac. She's like 19 years old, but an old soul vocally. And we did all the hits, Rainbow in the Dark, Fool for Your Lovin', because Rudy Sarzo was in White Snake, Ozzy with Randy Rhoads, with Quiet Riot. We didn't do any Quiet Riot, but we did White Snake and Ozzy. So we did Crazy Train, and we have great vocals. Here's Vinny Appice, who, Heaven and Hell, Rainbow in the Dark. He was in Black Sabbath with Dio, and he was in Ronnie James Dio. So we did all the big hits. It's called the MAB Band. All of that is also on the GoDPS Music app. Now, I'm going to say something else, and then I'm going to play a little bit more for you. These are like family members to me. There's a great store in Montana. It is in the Badlands. The city is called Glendive. It is right in the Badlands of Montana. If you don't know anything about the Badlands, it doesn't just stretch in Montana. It's in the Dakotas. It is Dinosaur Central. It's where, for example, in my hometown of Chicago, Sioux, the largest complete T-Rex ever was found in the Badlands. Not in the Montana Badlands, but in another part of it, the Dakota Badlands. The Montana Badlands are bad. And Glendive is right next to it. And there's a fantastic music store called Hell Creek Music and More. They have if you see way in the back, let's look. See over there? That you see, it's called an M24. It's actually called an STM24. Hell Creek Music and More has gold hardware and their own version of this. It is a great guitar, fantastic. One of my new signatures. I have the whole MAB line out, but they also do something else. There's Steve and Christy that run the store. Then they have 2 daughters, and their daughters are not only very pretty, but they're amazingly talented. So they have Chantel and Courtney, especially. Being the musical, savant of the family, she plays in the symphony orchestra, she can play bass, she can do all these sorts of things. But she also lives in Bozeman, Montana. She just got married, congratulations, Courtney, and she works at the Bozeman Spirits Distillery. And right before this live stream today, I got something called Sidecar Rum Cream. Now check this out. I'm not. If anybody knows me, they know I'm not I'm no druggie at all. But I drink beer and wine. That's it. But I like. Look at this Sidecar. So I want to do this. I'm going to give a toast. This stuff is great. Now this is even in a glass from Bozeman Spirits Distillery. This is Bozeman, Montana. If you like Baileys and stuff like this, cheers. God, that's good. It's really good. I told Courtney, the last time I was in Montana, I go, man, this stuff's really good. I didn't even know. So I got a text message the other day saying, expect a package, Michael. Well, it came in today, and I want to have a toast. And I want to toast to all of you, too, because, I'm choking up a little bit thinking about it, but I have had an absolutely amazing career. I have toured 58 countries for 27 years of my life. I have seen more of this world than 99% of the people that have ever lived. But it also qualifies me to, one, not be a jerk. I would never, ever in a million years compare Paris to Chicago, to LA, to Istanbul, to Beijing, to Shanghai, to Rome. It's just stupid. Or to London. I look at every place as this is unique unto itself. You cannot compare Vegas to London, Las Vegas to London. How do you do that? But I can tell you this. I have traveled in every region of China, every region in Italy. I've been to Europe so many times. 1 year, it was 7 times, just 1 year. I've been to Russia 4 times. And so I've had a lifetime of experience. But this experience that I have had, look at, I'm older now. You see Joey? Joey still operates on a super high level. I don't have any problems. The only thing that's different for me is when I watch my videos when I was young, I used to love to look at my fingers. I was like, I've never been overweight. I'm still thin. I'm 185 centimeters, almost 6'1". I'm still thin. But my fingers just changed with age. I'm like, what happened to them skinny little fingers? I was like, listen, I like nachos a lot. I like them a lot, so I eat nachos. It's like Joey's fingers got a little bigger over the years. And so they used to be so slim. And like when you watch Speed Kills and my Starlix videos, like I used to love, actually, this sounds weird. I used to like to watch my own fingers because I was like, man, they just rip, they just fly over the neck. Well, it still flies over the neck, but I can't help my age. But I can tell you this, as a young guitar player, look what you have to look forward to. Somebody that's my age that can still play at the highest level. If you're an older guitar player, you can say, you know what? I can still do this. So here's what I want to say to all of you. Understand, and I'm going to just kind of summarize. First, when you're doing these playthroughs, or you're playing a song and you want to do a solo, think about what key, what mode, what are my choices of notes first. Second, play with the most feeling you can. Third, study the technical part of it. I've said this many times. I'm going to put the drink down. I only want to sip. I don't want to be buzzed for this. You think of technique and music separately when you're practicing. But what happens is that the technique will integrate with the music and you will become a better player, technically, emotionally, musically. And I've said this a million times and I'm never gonna stop saying it. Musical people will find a way to make music. So you never wanna stop making music. When I was younger, all I did was play songs from other people and study technique. And I'm here today as living proof, telling you you can do this and it works. Speed Kills works. I practice what I preach. I'm not one of these people that says, do as I say, not as I do. I practice this stuff. That's why, look at this. I've got total control over these bad boy little digits. How many people can just do this? Just that, and then do this. Make it a right angle. Okay, I've got complete control over both hands because I studied, I learned, and I make things simple for myself, and I make things simple for you. I can only say this. The company I'm with now, I've never been a huge company hopper. The owner of my past company died. With it died everything that I held dear to that company. Now, I'm not saying anything bad about them. I have nothing in common with what they do now. I only have something in common with what they did. Sawtooth is state of the art. I'm going to post pictures in the next day here on this Facebook page and all over. They are a massive, massive operation with great people involved. I'm not stupid. I'm a lot of things, but I'm not stupid. And I had a lot of options. I cannot say enough about these people. And just the fact that we were able to do things that the peers, hey, there's like a magnetic field problem, bro. Well, guess what? There isn't. So the pundits can talk and talk and talk. You can talk, but walk the walk. Joey said it. It's easy to talk. It's easy to criticize. You don't see me criticizing anybody or anything. I'm the guy that works on this stuff. I'm the guy that released 7 signature guitars, not including a double guitar that we're going to be offering 50 pieces next year. And so all these new guitars that we did in 2020 are finally coming out and will be available. They're 2021 models. And we just started. It's a great company. Go to the app, go to EPS Music. And I just want to say this, Michelangelo Badio, Sawtooth Guitars, Sawtooth Amps, and Chromacast Music Products. And practice, practice, practice. And there's another thing too. The grass is not greener on the other side. There's that old saying, oh, the grass is greener on the other side. I've been to the other side. I know. Look at your family. Look at the people you love. Look at your friends. And ask yourself, are these good people? Are these people that I want to hang out with? You know, in Nitro, we had a saying, you can't soar with the eagles if you hang out with turkeys. Don't hang out with turkeys. If you want to fly, you associate with people who fly. I fly. Anyway, thank you so much. I'll be here next week. See ya.